YouTube. Today I want to talk about the decline bench press and why it is hugely underrated. So yeah, most people always talk about the flat barbell bench press and it's a dick measurement competition, most of the time. So yeah, but when your goal is bodybuilding, like for most of you guys watching this, 99% of people lift to look better. And if you guys are like me, and you have long arms, forearms especially, wide clavicles, wide shoulders, and a small rib cage, there is a lot of chance that the flat barbell bench will not be the best exercise to build your chest muscles, your pectorals. So yeah, and I will explain you how and why it is the case. So the main reason why I favor the decline bench over the flat version. Yeah, first things first, I will talk about the incline as well. I never did, I stopped doing incline work for like at least 4 or 5 years on with a barbell, and it's been same at least 3 years. I stopped doing incline with dumbbells as well, because no matter what the angles, even at 15 degrees, it doesn't work that much by upper chest, mostly front delts and mid to lower chest, so there is no point for me to do even a small incline. But again, that's just me. You just have to experiment. Bodybuilding is a lot of trial and error. You have to test things. Nothing is absolute. So no one can tell you this is the best, or you must do this, or you must not do this. You should just try, and yeah, it's just the same with my advice. So yeah, as for the decline, why it is better for most people. If you have bad anthropometry like me, you don't have the correct build to have a big chest, and your front delts, anterior delts are predominant, or your triceps. If it's your strong point, you'll be better off doing decline, and the advantage with decline is that it will work for everyone. If you have if chest is your strong point, decline will work at least as good, if not better than flat bench. It depends. I know some guys that are built to bench, and when they did decline, their chest was even bigger. So yeah, but the point is in this video to help some of you who have hard times or troubles beating their chest despite having good numbers on the bench, because of course being stronger, generally speaking, is being bigger. It's all connected, it's linked. But it's not only that. Being strong is good, but if I take myself as an example, I've been benching. I did a 5x5 for 110 kilograms, so it was like 235 pounds, I think. I'm not sure, but 110 kilograms for a 5x5, for example, and my chest was still shitty. My chest measurement was the same as when I did 80 kilograms or 180 pounds, so despite having the same techniques, so my shoulders and triceps got bigger, but not my chest. And that's why and how and when I realized that flat bench were just shitty for me, so I started to experiment with decline bench. And I must admit, you don't first thing first, you will have to have the best thing to do the decline bench will be to do it in a power rack to set the security, because 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago, I don't remember, for the first time in my life I did some decline bench. For some reason I lowered the bar too low on my upper chest, instead of going here, I went here, and one of my shoulder loses stability, and the barbell just fell back like this, and I almost destroy my head. I had the reflex to do like a skull crusher without destroying my forehead. Sorry, forearm, my forehead, and yeah, one of my friends was spotting me. He was behind me, but he couldn't have anticipated this. So yeah, but more fear than anything else. So never lower the bar too low on your chest when you do decline to avoid some this kind of movement. That's why I recommend to put a decline bench. So those decline bench that are made for the abs to do sit-ups. Use, if you have in your gym those decline bench for abs, you put them in a rack like I do, and you can set up the angle. That's the advantage, because for the decline bench, most of the time, when you have them in the commercial gym, it's the same problem as the incline bench. You can't set up the angle. It's most of the time the bench for the incline are too high, 45 degrees, which is an aberration. You can't even choose the angle. It's really bullshit, and the same for decline. But decline, generally speaking, have a good angle, so it will not be a problem. But I still recommend you to do them in a rack. So yeah, and you can set it. I will advise you to put an angle between 15 to 30 degrees, so like this to this, and it should be good. But you should try yourself, during your warm-up or multiple session, to find the angle which will be the best for you when you feel the best your chest, with a working set, not warm-up, because warm-up aren't really realistic to judge an exercise, always when you work on it. So yeah, and the reason now of why I dropped the flat bench for the decline bench as my main pressing movement, pushing horizontal pressing movements, is because I want to work my chest as a bodybuilder. I don't care about my strength on the flat bench, and I realized that even when I raised my strength on the decline, my flat went up when I tried it again for fun, because of the ego. Sometimes I just want to test where I am, my strength level. But anyway, it's because I will show you on the flat bench. You have your arm. If you have long arms like me, you have here your forearm. When you touch your chest like this, you have your elbow very far back, your torso, and it overstretches the chest, which means the shoulders, the anterior delt, the front delts will take over. They will stretch more than the pecs, and when you press back up, explosively, most of the time, they will do mainly all the work, and the chest isn't work anymore. It's a thing called, I don't have the exact terms in English, but I think you will understand it. If not, I will elaborate more about it later. But the tension length relation, it's when it's a rule when your muscle is at its strongest, when it's not too much stretch and too much, how to say it, I forgot the word in English, raccourci, as we say in French, when you don't contract as much. I hope you will understand. I forgot last moment the word I wanted to use, but yeah, I will correct it in the description, probably. So, because if you are here on the flat, your shoulders will take over, and it's not just it has nothing to do with injury risk or whatever. It's just that if you want to have a chest hypertrophy, you want to isolate your chest as much as possible, even though it's a compound movement. you can feel it, you know, even uh, at the end of the run of motion, when you are at the top, your triceps do all the work. So you can still, of course, go on the top because um, you will have some rest. You can do some rest pose, you know, and you can do more repetition than just doing a little range of motion, arbitrary range of motion. I don't like manual partials, you know, because from repetition to repetition, session to session, you don't have any uh, point, you know, you don't know where you stop, where you begin again, so it can be hard to measure the progression. So, you know, for example, if you don't want or if you can't do decline bench, you can do flat bench, you know, with a pussy pad. It will reduce the range of motion, you know, but it will reduce it physically, you know, because it simulates a bigger rib cage. So instead of stopping arbitrarily somewhere during the range of motion, and it will change every time, you know, every repetition or so, you will have the pussy pad to avoid everything that could be random, you know. So you have a partial range of motion, but at least you know when you touch your chest that every repetition is the same, you know. But the second reason why the decline is also very good, if you don't feel your chest on the flat version, is the angle at which you push, you know, because a decline simulates a bit are just like the weighted dips in a sense, because you push in a diagonal fashion, you know, so you push more in the axis of your fibers muscle of your pectorals, you know. You can feel it and you can see it when you push more like this towards the bottom. It contracts better than like this. For me, I can feel it and I can even see it, you know. And dips is even more vertical, you know, so you push like this. So that's why for a lot of people, me included, I love doing weighted dips. I do them in my second pushing session, you know. So yeah, but decline bench has a lot of advantage, less shoulder recruitment, more chest, by a reduced range of motion, which is good because again you don't overstretch your shoulders, otherwise they will do all the work. And when you are at the bottom during decline bench movements, you know, you should aim around here, you know, to hit the bar on the lower chest, not higher, because it could be detrimental and you can lose the tension on your chest, and yeah, and you can have the same accident as I had once in my life, but still I don't want it to happen again. Sorry. So yeah, but I think I said everything I had to say, and yeah, you have to try. Doing them with dumbbells is a bit weird because the setup is it's so hard to put yourself in place, you know, when you hold the heavy dumbbells, and I experimented it, and it's still better with the barbell. I feel better, you know. So the first rule is that a muscle that is not overstretched, you know, because on a decline bench, when you hit this part of the chest, the lower part of the chest, your chest, if you have my build, very long arm and a small torso, you know, and your chest already, you know, on a decline setup, you will have your elbow at 90 degrees like this, maybe a bit more, it depends, but you will not be like this. So on a decline bench, it will look like this. You will have your elbow just at the same height as your torso, and not very far back. So it's better for the chest again. uh, less stress on the shoulders and the more chest recruitment. And trust me, guys, after years of 3 years now straight of only doing a decline bench and some weighted dips, uh, this is when I made this is the time period where I made the best gains, even though I was already training for like 6 years before that. So between my 6 and 9 years of training, so that's 3 years, is where I made my best chest gains, even though I was already intermediate in term of strength level, you know. So yeah, you should try this for at least a month or two, and give me a feedback. But to conclude, always the same. Your chest isn't overstretched on a decline, so you will feel it better, and yeah, you will have more strength, because when a muscle is stretched way too much, you lose on strength, you know. So you and the shoulders will do most of the work, because it will take over during the movement. So yeah, I can enter into more details in another video or in the comment section if someone asks me something or don't understand, and I can elaborate more, but I don't want the video to be too long, and I might have forgot something to say, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So decline bench for hypertrophy, you know, whatever rep range between 6 to 12 will be the usual, you know, but you can go a bit lower if you feel like it, a bit higher, even though a bit higher repetition. For me, it works almost only triceps, so I like to work in the 6 to 12 rep range, you know, and yeah, I will talk next time, maybe not the next time, but in the near future, about how I program and how I use my how I periodize my progression, my cycle, you know, on the movement to progress, and yeah, how do I program for bodybuilding, because I use periodization for my training most of the time during the year. So yeah, so I hope it helped, and thanks for watching, and have a good day.